Hello, I'm Danny Ellis.
Hi, I'm Angie Capps.
And it's 7 o'clock. It's time for the news.
It is ready for some news.
That's right. And we're back. Hey, Angie.
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Good. How was your week this week? Did you have a good week? A lot of stuff going on?
I have been in Panama City Beach. I had got to fly for the first time.
For the first time?
First time ever.
You mean as old as you are, you've never flown?
I know I'm old as dirt, but first time ever.
No, you got to insult me now. You got to throw something back at me.
I was a little nervous. But I did good. Shay went with me. My sister Susan went with me, and it was good. It was fun.
Now we need to tell all the viewers. Me and Angie are really good friends, so I can throw a little slap at Angie like that because she can hit back pretty hard. Angie, we got a lot of stuff going on in St. Paul.
Yes, we do.
So we got the Thanksgiving food drive is coming up the week of November 6th, November 13th, and November 20th. Bring all your canned goods, your flour, your ramen noodles, and all your stuff up here to the church. You can turn them in at the church office or at the doors on the north side and the south side of the church. And that's coming up. That's a great thing we do every year, Angie. I'm really proud of that. So what's going on with the youth? I know the youth have been busy. So
we have had lots of stuff going on with the youth. With our local, which is St. Paul, St. John's, and St. Joseph. We meet every Wednesday night from 6 to 7:30 over in the youth room in the gym. We start out with food. I come up with some kind of food to feed them every Wednesday night. Of course, they come for the food. They love to eat. So we do food and fellowship, and then they have a video that they do with Miss Yema and Dwayne with Father Mike Schmitz. And they'll do that until it's time to leave, and then we do a little prayer service, and then we go. Once a month, we celebrate a youth mass, and that is our local here on Wednesday nights. Diocesan, statewide, we have got 5 local youth from our parish that is on the Youth Advisory Council. There's a total of 21, 25 kids throughout Arkansas. 5 of those are from here, that's big. That's very big. Last weekend, we had the Senior High Youth Rally there in Little Rock at Mount St. Mary's. There was 20 plus parishes, and there was a total of 350 youth. We had a wonderful, wonderful speaker, Maggie Craig. She's nationally known. Y'all can go look at her on Facebook or whatever. Maggie Craig. They had Catholic Youth Rally Olympics, and they were so funny. These kids, which are 9th through 12th graders, had to get on a tricycle and had to go down around this circle and come back. And there's this many kids that we divided up and see who won, and it was hilarious. Hilarious. So we had the Rally Olympics, and then we had Eucharistic Adoration, and that is amazing with these kids. To see these kids interact, it's absolutely breathtaking. And Dwayne and I were actually standing down on the gym floor looking up at these kids, and it's so moving to see them during this adoration time. Our kids actually have an Instagram. It is Yak Attack DOLR. And go and look, and they're doing some fancy stuff on there. It's pretty cool. Next month, on November 12th, we've got the Junior High Youth Rally. We're not real sure what our numbers are going to be, but we're expecting several there. And then December the 2nd through the 4th, we've got Search number 150. So we're busy.
So staying busy, staying busy. Speaking of searching, have they found a youth director yet? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware
Well,
of.
Father will be here in a few minutes to be on with us. Might be something you might want to ask.
Absolutely, absolutely, I will.
Thanks, Angie. Oh, before we go to commercial break, you're not going to hit me for saying that you were old too old to be flying, are you?
No. It's okay, I'm old, I know.
If I'm still here when we get back from commercial, you know she didn't. We'll be right back after this break.
For victory in life, we've got to keep focused on the goal, and the goal is heaven. The key to winning is choosing to do God's will and love others with all you've got. Sacrifice, discipline, and prayer are essential. We gain strength through God's Word, and we receive grace from the sacraments. And when we fumble due to sin, and it's going to happen, confession puts us back on the field. So if you haven't been going to Mass weekly, get back in the game. We're saving your seat on the starting bench this Sunday. Welcome home.
And we're back. We have James Freeman with us. James,
Hello.
welcome to Unity News.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Good,
Yes.
good. So you are the choir director, youth, not youth, praise band. What are you? What do you do?
So I'm the choir director and I'm also the praise band leader for St. Paul's, and kind of stepped in to help out while I'm here at college.
Okay, great. Throw your voice just a little bit.
And doing a lovely job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Lovely
Yeah,
job.
yeah. So how did you wind up at St. Paul's? A lot of people have asked that. Where did he come from? He just showed up one day.
Good Lord. So I've been here for quite a while, in different time spans. I originally came here to attend University of Williams Baptist University. So I did that my freshman year at college and was here for about a year, and then I decided I wanted to try out seminary and decided I needed to go to that.
Now, he was with Drew
I was
and
with
Jackson.
Drew and Jackson
Okay.
when I was at seminary. So I went there at the
First
House
year.
Formation in Little Rock. And so after that, I decided to turn out this past December. I decided I needed to take a break from that and continue to listen to God's call, of course, but I knew I wanted to finish my education. So I decided what better place to come back than here in Pocahontas Ridge, because I kind of formed a close-knit little community here at the church, and back at school I felt a lot of support at Christian University and the teachers there, so I decided to come back.
Okay, okay.
And we're glad to have you.
Well, thank you.
Oh
I'm glad to
yeah,
be back.
oh yeah. So you just started singing and getting involved in the music program at St. Paul's? Is that how that?
Yes, my first year, Pat Reynolds, one night at Adoration,
Good old Pat.
got me, snagged me in the corner as I was trying to leave and asked who I was and invited me to come sing on Sunday with the praise band. So I tried it my first Sunday, and ever since then I kind of have just been back.
Okay, okay.
We haven't let him leave.
That's
no,
right.
when I got back again, it was I got like a week off, and immediately they're like, "When are you gonna go and start singing again?"
Help me remember, did you work with the choir before at St. Paul's, the Saturday night choir?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
originally
Christmas,
sang with
yeah.
the praise band my first year here, and then when I left, I came back and I started singing some. But the traditional choir that most often sang at Easter and Christmas had asked if I would help out at Easter this past year. They were looking for a choir director and someone to kind of lead them a little bit more, and so I decided I was going to take on that and help them. And so I was able to lead the choir and conduct them at Christmas time, and we were really grateful just for all the opportunities that just kind of opened up from that point on. A lot of members started to come back and join to sing, and we had Seth who was able to play the organ for us, and that's been a huge blessing to have him. Because trying to find an organist is really hard in this area.
Did you know we're looking for a youth leader?
I did not.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, we're looking for a full-time youth leader.
That's something that's hard everywhere to find. It's just any ministry, and it's
Yes.
really wonderful to see a lot of younger people stepping up that are in the college level and older. And I always try to help push my fellow friends and others that even if you don't feel called to lead it, try to get involved a little bit, because you're going to have to eventually. You're going to be the old people of the church having to help do stuff, not calling. See, I'm also
Did you
just
hear
nice
that?
enough to get to call people. You're not.
We have another commercial break coming up.
Where is Father?
You're by yourself.
Where is Father?
Father's here too?
Yeah. Oh, he's on next.
Oh,
he's
wonderful.
on next.
He's going to watch.
If he says anything about age, I'm done.
Well, he's younger than any of us today. You just turned 20.
I just turned 22, yeah.
It was on a Sunday morning, I think.
Yes.
It was really hard. I was lecturing that Sunday, and I really, really wanted, but I needed to ask Father first, and I forgot. But I was wanting to say it was James Freeman's birthday.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it, but I was like, well, I need to ask Father if I can do something like that. I was hoping he would, but we didn't. But
Well, I was really blessed to get to come and spend my birthday
yeah.
here with my parish
Yeah.
family.
I'm sure he thinks I'm old. My daughter is his age. Brooke is his age. But it's okay. I am old.
You're not that old.
Oh, they're being mean to me.
I feel old. I would never guess I was going to be.
Father just walked on the set, so we better. All right. So you're leading the praise band and the choir.
Yes.
Which one's easiest?
Oh,
No, which one's hardest?
I don't know which one's harder. There's challenges to both. And we're really blessed here at St. Paul's to have both traditions that are kind of colliding. So you have the more modern, contemporary praise music mixed with a lot of traditional Catholic hymns. But because we also live in Arkansas, we have a lot of Protestant roots in our music that formed during the time. And so we kind of have a really interesting mixture of music and what the styles that people favor. I don't know if a single one, either praise band or the choir, is easier to direct because there's challenges to both. I think a challenge that has been for both of them is to try to gain some unity, which is the whole purpose of what Unity News formed out of.
Exactly.
And it was just this parish, we've gone through a lot dealing with music in our past and some pain and suffering that come from that. But the members that are involved in the ministry now have moved on past that separation. They want to have a unity and they want to form it. And now it's much more difficult not to minister to the members of the ministry, of the music ministry, but also to reach out to the community to show that we're wanting to work together and we're okay with working together. And so we're not two separate ministries, we're one ministry.
That is large. That is large.
You have two ministries, but one parish. One message. That's right. So I've noticed it's growing. I noticed we have a Saturday night choir, and our guest last month was mentioning that. She was just amazed we had a Saturday night choir. And the praise team, I've noticed, is growing. What's your future plans for both?
I would love, because the traditional Saturday night choir kind of just burst itself on its own. We weren't planning for that to happen. We just normally have it at Christmas and Easter and certain holidays. And just a couple of the members of the choir decided they wanted to come up and sing. What happened is we picked new mass parts. That was a change that I kind of had been seeing that had been talked about on both sides, but never kind of come together and actually happened. And so we chose some new mass parts, and they came from Catholic Music Initiative, which was a ministry that started right before COVID hit down in Dallas, Texas. And their whole purpose was colliding the more modern music styles and way that we produce church music with older tradition that we have from all of these hymns. And so I thought, what better way than to pick a ministry that has the same mission that we're trying to accomplish. And so out of that, we had a practice with both ministries together. And I think the traditional choir just really enjoyed singing with other people and having, getting to be together. And so it really, after that practice, every single weekend since then, there's been at least 5 or 6 people up in the choir loft on Saturday night. And Sunday, we also were struggling for a while having enough people up there. And we've had more people come back that had previously participated. And we've had some youth that have started joining. I know Todd Baltz had worked with that in the past, getting quite a few youth. And we had about 3 or 4, and we've gained a couple others also that have started to more regularly sing with us on Sunday mornings as well. So it's both are growing. And I think it's really helped was that unification of just showing that once we sat down and talked to each other, we were able to see and grow together.
Right.
It sure was good to see Leah Evers and David Priest back.
I know, it was. And I think David led this morning, so that was really great too. So as far as if someone wants to be a member of the praise team or the adult choir or Christmas, what do they do? Who do they call?
You just have to show up. So if you want to show up, we have practices.
Well, how do they know? Okay, you're going to say.
So a lot of times we're very open to anybody that's wanting to join to come and join us. They can of course reach out to me. I'm there most Sundays before and after Mass, and I show up to quite a few of the Saturdays before and after. So if anybody's wanting to join either the traditional choir or they want to join praise band, or they may want to do both, because we have some members that do that. They can reach out to me personally. They can contact the church office and they'll let me know. Or you can just show up to practices or come up after Mass. I know the praise band has practice every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock before Mass. And so if you show up during that time and say, I'm interested, we'll throw you in if you want to do it that Mass, or if you just want to talk about joining
whether
the
you can
Mass.
sing or not.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is we want to have good music that sounds good, and that's why we practice and learn the hymns over time and not just all of a sudden. That's why we practice those. But you don't have to have an amazing voice. You don't have to know how to read music. A lot of our musicians and singers don't necessarily read music straight from the sheet. It's a lot of by ear and learning over time. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to read music to be able to join either the traditional choir or the praise band. We just want you there.
Yeah, that's great. you know, you're doing a really good job. We're really blessed to have you.
I appreciate it.
And everyone we're talking to, whether it's Parish Council or Unity News, everyone's bragging on you. So we're really glad to have you. We're going to want to thank you for coming on the news show.
Oh,
Been trying to get you on for a while.
yeah, some things have come up multiple times.
It finally worked out.
It finally worked out.
Yeah. So
Just keep it up.
that's
Thank you, I
right.
appreciate
That's
it.
right. So thanks, James. When we come back, where's my camera? There it is. When we come back, we'll have Father Stephen Elser with us, and we'll be right back.
It is here where you'll find the best marriage counselor, greatest healer, wisest teacher, and closest friend. It's a place where you'll escape the chaos of the world and find the lasting peace that only comes from God. Jesus is personally waiting to embrace you now with his divine mercy and healing love. Jesus is calling you home to his sacred heart today.
I need your mercy. I need a Savior.
And we're back, and we have Father Stephen Elser with us. Father, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
I think you took off last month. We had Kathy Bergman with us. Very successful show with that, and we're going to try to get Kathy back with us. But welcome back. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Angie's being really Angie. She's being very Angie on the show tonight.
Just the way God made it.
That's right.
That's right.
Genuine as can be.
And there is
so
not another one like me, I promise.
that is the truth.
He broke that mold and burnt it.
That's true. That's true. So, but anyway, we have a lot of questions that have been sent to us, and I picked three.
Okay.
And the first one is how do we work with other churches? Are we part of the Ministerial Alliance?
So, you know, in the first few years I was here, give a lot of credit to Dr. Albert Boltz, who was kind of our liaison to the Ministerial Alliance from St. Paul's, the kind of Catholic presence. So very, very grateful to him. Now, the Ministerial Alliance, for a little while there, of course, for those who don't know, it's kind of the group of different churches, their pastors that come together every so often to talk about different needs of the community and to plan community-wide events, especially having to do with religion, prayer services, and whatnot. So anyway, they were meeting a lot of times like on Mondays or Tuesday mornings. And I'm not always here on Mondays. Mondays are my day off. And so it was very hard for me to be able to attend those meetings. And so Dr. Albert Baltz was very gracious in attending those to give a Catholic presence to the Ministerial Alliance. Well, the head of the Alliance, Pastor Jeff Ham, who was over at Great Harvest, kind of recognized that I wasn't able to come to the meetings because they were on Mondays or Tuesday mornings. And so I think I had been to maybe one or two meetings in that 2-year span. And he approached me and said, well, would another day of the week be better? And I said, well, pretty much any time other than Monday or the weekends, you know. And I suggested Wednesday mornings or Friday mornings. And so they've graciously kind of moved their meeting times. And so I've been able to, for a couple months now, I've been able to kind of consistently go to their meetings and have tried to participate in the Ministerial Alliance, which participates in the community at large. And so, you know, we've done a few things. Most recently, there were two events, the See You at the Pole prayer service at the public school, which I went to. It was on Wednesday, I believe, September 28th. And 7 o'clock in the morning, we had a few of the different pastors in the area help lead a prayer service. And a few of our Catholic kids came in attendance, and I was there as well.
It's really great.
Have you ever done that, Paul?
They may have done it pre-COVID, and I think I went to that one, but I think this may have been the first one since all the COVID stuff. So,
that was a really great experience. I also helped out at the community prayer service at the courthouse. Spoke a little bit. That was I think the next Thursday evening, and then the community-wide Thanksgiving service. I've attended that. This year it'll be at the Church of God of Prophecy on, I think, November 22nd on a Tuesday.
And yours truly is the guest speaker for that.
So are you going to the meetings? I guess you go to
So I am going to the meetings regularly, and we recently, this past meeting, actually use the Parish Life Center as one of the meeting spots.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah, so Pastor Jeff usually has them at Great Harvest, and, you know, at the end of, let's see, that would have been our August meeting, I said, you know, is there any, you know, I'd be happy if we have this new building here, if y'all want to meet at our Parish Life Center, and they all agreed and wanted to come. So actually, it's in this very room where we had the last meeting where we've been planning things. So, and I've offered to have them sort of any time to come up here. So we had about 10, about a dozen of them show up, and they got to tour the building and everything, and also just had our normal monthly meetings. So, so we are very much involved in the Ministerial Alliance. Personally, I've been more involved than I have been in the past. And again, I'm kind of grateful to the Ministerial Alliance for kind of helping make that happen.
We have a very active Ministerial Alliance in this city. We always have.
We do.
And that's something to be proud of.
Yes.
That's really good. So, you know, we also had another question, and what's the most difficult part of being a priest, the thing that's the toughest? I'm sure there's several.
So that was a very hard question to kind of answer, because again, there's so many things that I could say. And, you know, I scroll on Facebook. You know, I mean, we all do that, and every once in a while, I'll stumble upon kind of descriptions of priesthood, or some or another they post something that gives a nice kind of description of either what it means to be a priest or aspects of the priesthood. In fact, I read one of those probably a couple months ago at one of my homilies. It talked about just kind of the priesthood in general. Well, another kind of one that I stumbled upon kind of really hits home at this point, and so I brought it and I'll just kind of read it out loud here. And it's entitled, basically, the Catholic priest being one of the most difficult professions in the world. So I'll just read it and I'll kind of make a comment afterwards. So it says, being a Catholic priest is ranked among the 4 most difficult professions in the world. This is because a Catholic priest must be at the same time preacher, example, advisor, former, planner, minister, visionary, director, mentor, friend, nanny, reconciler, marriage counselor, youth counselor, leader, trainer, Bible teacher, psychologist, intercessor, etc., etc. Besides being church porter, corporate administrator, engineer, bricklayer, event promoter, a mediator between 2 factions in a conflict, a mediator between God and man, first to arrive and last to leave, etc. And yet all Catholic priests face constant criticism, such as, the Mass doesn't fill me, the homily is too long or too short, they just think about money, there's endless fundraising, why doesn't he do this, why doesn't our church do that, etc., etc. One of the most difficult things in a Catholic priest's life is knowing that the people for whom they give their life might betray them. The Catholic priest is usually the most lonely person in the community. You can even see how a Catholic priest is always surrounded by people, but rarely by people interested in their problems, needs, or even in their life, let alone in the demands that the communities place upon them. If you have a Catholic priest or priests as friends, take care of them, protect them, pray for them, understand their vision, support them, but above all, love them. Don't forget the promise of Jesus himself. And I will give you shepherds after my own heart, who will feed you with knowledge and intelligence. Jeremiah 3:15. Therefore, take care of them, because they personally watch over your souls, since they will be accountable for them. Hebrews 13:17. Let us honor with our prayers the lives of all those men of God who have sacrificed so many things, including some of their own needs and that of their families, to fulfill God's call. Value the time a Catholic priest dedicates to you. The Catholic priesthood is a vocation, not a profession. So that really kind of gets to the heart of this question, kind of what's the hardest or most difficult thing for a priest. And for me, this kind of shows it's having to sort of do all of those things and kind of being all things to all people, you know. And I very much feel, you know, inadequate at times, or even unworthy with my own kind of sinfulness and weaknesses and shortfallings. And so, you know, I probably, like I said, the most difficult thing is trying to maybe even the most overwhelming thing is, trying to be all of that and to try and do my best to serve our community as the priest and to do all these things as best I can, even amidst criticism, even amidst, not feeling like I can do it, feeling unworthy, or maybe feeling like I'm not doing the best I can do, but kind of ultimately just trying to be able to fulfill all those roles as best I can. So, like I said, there's other things I could think of, but that's probably the one that speaks to me the most.
Well, being able to do all that in 24 hours, you have 24 hours, we all have 24 hours in a day.
Right.
And being able to accomplish all that and do all that, and you need to be patted on the back and said, we're glad you're here.
Absolutely.
You are,
bless your heart. I would be nicer to you, Father.
Yeah. I was going to feel bad.
I do feel very supported,
you've got the church's
our
support.
community. But, every once in a while there's,
That is,
times
I've
where you
never,
just feel down.
I've never really thought about like that, but that's exactly what y'all are. No wonder you're overwhelmed sometimes.
That's right. You have 3 parishes and a
Right,
school.
so do that times 4,
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Bless your heart.
Well, another question is, what new ministries would you like to see here at St. Paul's?
So let's, before answering that question, some ministries I'd like to see a little bit emphasized or supported a little more. So things that we already have that could use a little bit more. So I've mentioned before PRE. We've got a great kind of team of volunteers that help out with PRE, but we're just kind of, again, on the bare minimum when it comes to our adult volunteers. So we have, one adult in every classroom teaching, and we've even combined a few grades in order for us to be able to fill all those spots. So I'd love to have, an extra adult in all the classrooms, an assistant catechist, so that way we have 2 per classroom instead of just 1. And we're always in need of, kind of a list of substitute catechists. So, our normal catechists lead busy lives just like all of us, and they sometimes can't be there on a particular Wednesday. And we're definitely in need of substitutes to help with our PRE that happens on Wednesday evenings.
Father?
Sure.
That can be 18 years and older,
I would say so, yeah.
up to 53, 54.
Well, I was saying, I don't want to say
that rules aging out.
Right. Well, I don't know how old Larry White
Larry
is.
White, yes,
But
Larry White.
Larry helps us out too.
Yes, Larry is older than Angie, yes.
Yes. So
they do need to be at least 18.
I would say
to
at
sub.
least 18 to sub. Yeah.
Okay, because Drew has actually talked about
Oh,
subbing
great.
if we needed somebody.
Wow.
So in addition to PRE, we kind of think of our mass ministries.
So, Danny's in charge of lectors. We could always use more lectors. Just talk with James. We can always use more in the music ministry. Think of ushers and Eucharistic ministers and all these sorts of things that happen at Mass. We have, people to do those things, but we could always use more support in that area. And then finally, the other ministry I'd really like to see sort of supported more is perpetual adoration. This is something that Bishop mentioned in his message to all of us about a month ago. And, our parish is blessed with being one of the first parishes to start perpetual adoration. I think Good Counsel in Little Rock was the first, but we followed pretty soon after. And so, COVID kind of took that away and really made us weaker when it came to adoration. And I think there's been a lot of people sort of coming back after that bishop's message that he gave, and me kind of emphasizing it. But again, with that same kind of idea with PRE, we want at least 2 people per hour and not just having 1. That's kind of the goal of thriving when it comes to perpetual adoration. And in addition to that, expanding our hours to the late evening and early morning hours, which, is definitely a sacrifice, but, many people I've talked to kind of here and even in my own home parish, when we started perpetual adoration, have found even those early morning hours and that small sacrifice to be very, very fruitful.
I would love to see perpetual adoration kind of come back in full force.
Right.
Now, who again do we contact? I know Miss Judy has retired from it.
Right. So Henry and Joan Gross have kind of taken over Perpetual Adoration. They've done an amazing job with kind of promoting it, kind of updating it with new software.
We have the software we use kind of sends out text reminders, and it also allows, if you're a substitute, that system kind of puts you in the substitute database. And so if anybody needs a substitute, it kind of randomly sends out text messages. I mean, I'm on the substitute list, and I'll get a text message every once in a while if someone can't make their adoration hour, and if I can make it, I'll say yes and I'll sub for them.
So
Add to your list.
yeah,
Add to
add to my list.
Add
That's
to my
right.
list.
But I mean, so in that regards,
Even if you can't commit to an hour, if you can even commit to being a substitute, and that's doing it occasionally, that may be a good way to kind of get your foot in the door. So, but anyway, Henry and Joan Gross have graciously headed up that ministry since Judy did such a wonderful job for 26 plus years.
Right. We're pretty excited about our November episode that's coming up. Now, we're going to try our very best to keep this a secret. We have got a great guest coming on November.
yes, we do.
So we all three know about it, and let's just see if we can keep it quiet. Angie,
Yes.
you know what that means?
Father, I had a question for you.
Okay.
Talking about youth, do we have any applicants for a youth leader yet?
We've had some interest, but I've kept the deadline open till October 31st. And so,
I told James that I said, did you know that we're looking for a youth minister?
Mhm.
Just throwing that out there.
The parish council has discussed it as well.
Sure.
So,
We'll continue to pray that God inspires whoever that may be to help us out, and that God will send us someone. So.
Very good.
right.
Okay, so those are kind of ministries we already have that I'd like to see fortified. So the question was, though, new ministries. So I've got sort of three that come to mind. So I talked about, I think in a previous episode, a bereavement ministry, which hasn't really gone off the ground at all. So this again was a ministry and our idea to reach out to those who have lost a loved one and to kind of just let them know that our parish as a whole is thinking about that person. I mean, we have individual parishioners, families, and friends who, acknowledge that somebody has lost somebody, has lost a loved one. But this kind of ministry would be more, writing a card or doing something sort of as a parish to help them recognize that we're thinking of them. Not just on, the close, not just the day that the person died or around the funeral time, but 3 months, 6 months, and even a year after that, kind of those anniversaries, kind of, hey, we're still thinking about you and praying for you. So I'd really like to see a bereavement kind of ministry or group take off here at the parish. Another ministry I think we could work on is a young adult ministry. So, doing something for our young adults, maybe out of college, young, adults who have young families, doing something to kind of to help them in their faith. Now, I know kind of organically there's a young Catholic moms group that formed. I think they're still going very strong. And that's a very good thing. I'm very glad that that's happening. But even something a little, for maybe the young Catholic dads, this is for the moms, maybe developing something for the Catholic dads, or even young Catholic couples, or even just in general, young Catholics or young adult Catholics, and having babysitting so that they can get together and share a meal and discuss a topic about the Catholic faith. But just something with young adult ministry would be really nice to see. And then finally, this is something that's come up recently. I'd love to see what's called an RCIC program. So this is kind of the mirror to RCIA. RCIC is for children who need to go through preparation to go through the Easter Vigil. So the kind of rule in the Catholic Church is if you are past the age of 7, then you're considered by the church to be an adult. Now, of course, 7-year-olds are not adults, but when it comes to baptizing these kids, they have to go through the RCIA process if they have not been baptized before the age of 7. Now, of course, RCIA is for adults and geared towards adults, and so I know I've got three kids right now who either, their parents are interested in having them baptized, or they themselves are interested in joining the church. But RCIA is not really geared towards them, and so RCIC is sort of that same kind of concept of preparing for the Easter Vigil, but at a kid's level, at a sort of elementary or even junior high level.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm having those kids go through PRE, as kind of a substitute for, doing some kind of formation for Easter Vigil,
Right.
and even encouraging their parents to bring them to RCIA. But I'd really like to see, something for them to be able to prepare them for Easter Vigil. My previous parish in Fort Smith had an RCIC program, and
Right.
I'd love to see something like that happen here as well, because we don't have anything like that at this point. So anyway, those are 3 things from our current ministries: PRE, Mass Ministries, Perpetual Adoration, that I'd like to see fortified or strengthened, and 3 new ministries: Bereavement, Young Adult Ministry, and RCIC. That would be nice to see if we can get started.
Right.
We might as well use this big old building.
Right. Using this building as much as possible. It's such a wonderful gift to our parish, such a blessing.
Absolutely.
So the more things we can do in here, I think the better.
Right.
Yeah.
So true. So true. Well, Father, as usual, thanks again. Good
Well,
stuff.
happy to
Good
be here.
stuff.
Thank
If you would like to join a ministry at St. Paul's and you don't know who to talk to, just send us an email at oneunitynews.com, and you'll get your information to the appropriate person and get you started serving at St. Paul's. Angie, good show.
Yes, I
Good
think so
show.
too. It's nice to be back.
So I want to welcome everybody to come to see our November episode. We got a special guest, and we're going to try to keep it quiet. We're going to do our best.
Don't ask me who it is. Don't ask me. I'm not going to tell you.
Do our best to keep it quiet. So we'll see you in November. Until then, God bless and good night.